What's up everybody, Mike here. I made a seafood and shrimp risotto with some pan-seared scallops and I'm going to show you the process. The ingredients for my risotto are laid out in front of me. The only optional thing on my end is going to be the scallops. Those are going to be seared off in a non-stick pan and placed on top of my shrimp risotto. Other than that, I have a shallot, 3 cloves of garlic, olive oil, homemade shrimp stock, which I'm going to give you a recipe for in a future video, white wine, that is 1 cup. I have 1 1/4 cup of an arborio rice. I have some fresh dill, 4 tablespoons of butter, about half a cup of frozen peas, about half a cup, maybe about a dozen shrimp there. Then we have some salt and some red pepper flake. I'm going to show you through the process to make the risotto next. All right, so in my risotto pan, I have some olive oil that is already nice and warm. My seafood stock is actually nice and steamy, which is perfect. But my non-stick pan over here has olive oil in it, but it is completely cold. Now is the moment when I'm going to turn on this pan to a medium heat so it can start heating up. I'm going to go ahead and toss in my aromatics, which is the chopped garlic and shallot. I'm going to go ahead and get this toasted up a little bit and start browning before I toss in my rice in just a minute. I'm starting to see some little bits of brown and golden color on some of the smaller pieces. So this is when I'm going to go ahead and start toasting in my rice. I've got another minute or so to keep toasting my rice and develop a little bit of fond on the bottom of my pan here, but the aromatics have gotten nice and translucent and there's some color developing on some of the pieces there, so I'm just going to let this continue. I have turned my non-stick pan down onto a low heat just so that it stays nice and hot. I don't want the olive oil to burn, but I do want this pan hot whenever it's time for me to sear my scallops. And I unfortunately don't know when exactly that's going to be, because I'm going to be timing it off of searing them when I put in my last addition of my stock. And since that's going to take a little bit of time to know exactly how long each addition is going to take, I'm basing that time for my scallops off of how long it is going to take for that. So it's a play-by-ear game right now, and all that I'm waiting for is when I can use my white wine. So you're going to see that in just a minute. All right, so we are about another minute or so past when I last updated you. I can start to smell the rice. It's a little nutty flavor, and since it's been going over a nice medium heat, it is just about time for us to go ahead and put in that white wine. But I want to stir and check to make sure that there is some nice golden color throughout on all of the different pieces of rice. Seeing that, now I'm going to go ahead and add in my white wine. All of my white wine has been absorbed by my rice. So it is now time to add in my first addition of stock, and I'm just going to be putting in 2 ladlefuls right now. Now the next several processes are just me stirring in 2 ladles full of my seafood and shrimp stock every couple of minutes whenever this has been fully absorbed. So I'm not going to show you each addition, but I am going to track them, tell you at the end, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you want to add your next addition. And I'm also going to show you when I'm putting in my scallops. So you're going to see a couple of things, and I'm going to talk to you in a little bit. So it is time for my next addition of liquid. As you can see, there is no more liquid actually pooling in the center of my pan. So 2 more ladlefuls are going in. All right, it is time for the 4th and what may be the final addition of liquid. But before I do that, I actually want to season my scallops, because this is when I'm going to go ahead and add in my scallops to sear, and I'm going to be putting in my shrimp in order so that they can go ahead and start cooking with that risotto. So make sure to season both sides of your scallops. Throw in your shrimp. Stir those around. And add in your 2 ladles of your stock. You're also going to go ahead and add in your red pepper flake at this point into your risotto. All right, I have pulled my scallops off of the pan. 2 of them stewed a little bit because it was a cold part of the pan rather than sear, but they are done. So at this point, my risotto is also done. I want to go ahead and stir in my butter and my dill off the heat. I have turned off the heat. And I'm just going to go ahead and stir this in. This is also when I'm going to stir in and seasoning some salt for this. So I'm going to taste it, I'm going to season it, and then it is time to plate. So you will see the final finished product next. And that is how you make my risotto. I really hope you make it, but for right now, just look at my face. Please make this.